Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, it has finally happened. Enough when uncommons have entered the game, and with uncommon sneakers, you now get a chance of, when you open a common sneaker box, there is like a 2% chance that you'll get an uncommon, and then I'm not too sure what the percentages are with a common and uncommon mint, but basically with uncommons now comes mystery boxes, which will then drop essentially raw stones, which can then be cut into gems, and then you can use those gems to upgrade the shoes. So super excited about this update. What I am mortified by is that as soon as I went into the game, I got really excited. I wanted to open my StepnGO app. I wanted to go look at the marketplace, and Spark has now returned. So if you are like me and you are on a Apple device, they've reconnected their partnership with Apple, which is really good because it allows normies that aren't crypto natives, that don't use the blockchain, to send and just basically pay dollars in order to buy the Spark token, to buy the shoes and play the game, and they don't even need to touch crypto. It just means that they've messed up my system where I can now just no longer have access to what's it called? I can just no longer access the marketplace because now everything's in Spark. And what needs to happen, and what they haven't done yet, is if you go to StepnOG, there is an online marketplace called m.stepn.com, which you can then just look at all the prices. However, if you go to StepnGO, there is no marketplace button. I highly encourage the team to add it. I'm going to speak to them. It's like the most simple system to implement, because why wouldn't you want your community to be able to look at the marketplace? It is actually just a need for us to look at the marketplace. And yeah, and also it's a pretty good time because I actually need to top up my gas in StepnGO. I've only got like 3 left, so I need to buy a new shoe to burn. So what you have to do now, if you don't want to use Spark and Spark still charges a premium, is you have to go to id.fsl.com. You log in with your email that is your Stepn account, and then you can either like send your money on the app like this, or what you can do is what you have to do is you basically go into applications. So it's not a tab here. So I'll just open an example because I use Door a lot in order to change my cash. But you go into applications and then you hit enter StepnGO, and then there's my shoes. So you can't see, like, a lot of the features have been limited. You can see some of my GGT that I've earned. You can see my current holdings of GMT, and then you can kind of get the wallet system. So in this case, what I need to do here is the new marketplace. So the floor price has, I'm not going to say crashed, but it's gone down a bit since uncommons and are now available. So just commons have gone down a bit. But what we can now do is we can filter, and we can then go uncommon, and we can see the floor price for uncommons is still 15,000, which, you know, I think it's a bit too much, but that's my opinion. I do understand that it gives you so much access to the game, in the sense that it gives you, so if you click on an uncommon shoe, you can see now there's efficiency, luck, karma, and charm, compared to if we just go to a common shoe, which only has efficiency. So it does unlock way more to the game, including gems and stones, etc., etc. But for anyone that just wants to get their 90 energy, we need to get 2,900 GMT into this wallet. So we're going to do that. So what you do is you load up in this case, I used a MetaMask, point slut. And then we go to tokens. So I already have 2,900, but let's say it was all in USDT on Polygon. You can then just go to Door, swap it around, go to USDT, make sure it's the Polygon network, not Ethereum, not BNB, not Solana. And then you could then just make the swap and put in this case, you would need about, I would guess like 105, nope, 115. Okay, around 125 to get you that 2,900. And then what we then do is we go back into our wallet, and then we want to transfer in. So we would just copy the wallet address. We know that this is on the Polygon. If you click transfer, oh no, not transfer in. So yeah, you copy your wallet address. Then we go down to our MetaMask, and we are going to send this to, and then just kind of double check that it's the same number. So you kind of go like, okay, OXE133, OXE133, and then you just kind of look at the end, 9D3FC, cool. And then you kind of want, okay, so I want 2,900 in. I've already got 600. So we do like roughly 2,300. So we're sending $100 in, and that should give me enough. So bang, from this wallet is just my airdrop farming LST earning wallet. So we're just going to use point slot, send some tokens in, and let's just wait a little bit. I know Polygon's quite quick, so it shouldn't take too long. So it's been sent. We can just go back, relog. Does it show up? Okay, so okay, you can also hit receive, and it's the exact same address, and then you can click copy address. And now we just need it to register. Cool. So now we can see our 2,300's in, and then we just simply transfer it in. So what we need to do is we need to go GMT, transfer in, confirm. So then that basically is going to send it from our wallet into our spending account, so we can then buy some shoes. One thing to note, if it's your first time buying shoes, please make sure that you put some Polygon or Matic in this case. So just, you can see in this wallet, I always hold like, it doesn't have to be $7, but just put at least like $5 in your receiving account on MetaMask, and then put like, whoops, it's so slow. And then put another $5, like you can see I put another $5 to $7 just sitting in there, and then just every time you use the app, you know that you've got enough for gas fees and you don't have to worry about it. But money's in, now we just gotta wait till it registers. So it's been sent out there, recharge failure. Okay, that's frustrating. I might need to go make a ticket now, but let's see how this goes. See how, if I do GMT max, nope, okay, can't do that. Well, good news is I have a video. I've recorded a video, and I can speak to the support team and they can help me. They're quite amazing with this, so let's just refresh. Okay, back. I really wanted to buy a sneaker. Guys are not helping me right now. Anyway, I need gas. I can't buy a sneaker, but I'm gonna now file a complaint and just submit a support ticket. It'll be done within a few hours. Nothing to worry about. I think it just might be there's been a new update, so maybe, or there's maybe just too many like stress on the server. I'm not too sure, but we weren't successful, but I know it will be successful and I can get it amended, so I'm not too worried. But then basically I can then just buy my shoes, burn the shoes, and I've got my gas back in the tank. Yeah, once again, in terms of uncommon pricing, I still think it's a bit high. If I use OG Stepn as an example, I know it's not the best example because there's all this new hype and new news about uncommons, and it's not like there's rares or epics and other levels yet. So we are capped and everyone's migrating to uncommons. However, if we look at just the price difference here, it's like 270 GMT. And then the minute you go to an uncommon, it's not even double. It's 530. It's just under double. So I would be looking to pay about like 2.5, 3 times as much as a common shoe, which would, it's still way, way, way below the current market at 15K. So I'm going to give it a few days before I pick up my uncommon. But for now, I'm just monitoring the market, letting a bunch of people breed them out some more, and then I can jump on and check it all out. But for now, I'm quite happy, very content. I did make a mistake in the math document. I guess let's just quickly update the math document since we're here. So I know a few guys have been asking, is it still worth buying uncommons to check out, and like, are uncommons basically still worth it in terms of, so the floor price we said was 2,900. The GGT price is 2.23, so we have gone up since last time, and we have to then just quickly get some GMT, which I think has also gone up a bit. Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so breeding is still profitable at $5 a pop, but you got to also understand that there is now a 2% chance to mint twins, and that increases as you mint more. And then there's also a 2% chance to get an uncommon, which will then give you 5 times the amount. So definitely worth it. In terms of our ROI, or expected profit, you are expected to spend $125 for a shoe, and then you're expecting a return in that 90 energy of about $233. Obviously, by the time you finish burning that energy, based on how much energy you can burn a day, the cost of GGT might be less. You know, in my case, it takes me 15 days to burn 90 energy at 6 energy a day. But if you're not too worried about that, you're looking at an expected profit of still 46%. And what I do now for months is the first thing I do is I take my earnings from the 90 energy and I will reinvest it into the next shoe, and then everything else after that is just pure profit. So you can actually see in my example, in this wallet, I had enough cash to put in the 2,900 in GMT for the next shoe, and I'm still holding $70 in the profit, which is very similar to this amount. And I've still got, as I said, a few bits of energy left, but I do need to now file the support ticket because I want to get my energy, because I want to go for my walk later today, if not tomorrow, but not to worry. But yeah, sorry, I did mess up in the OG StepnGO calculations. I think everything here was right in terms of a common shoe, an uncommon shoe level 28, my 2 gems. The total is still about 1,300. However, the difference now is, I used, I think, GMT price every day instead of using GST, which a lot of you guys pointed out in the last video, so I do appreciate you guys. So I basically added nearly a 10x, so that is my fault. But we would be earning about 57 a day, so that makes more sense. You're looking at 0.36. So if we go back to the math document, we put that in, we are looking at a 156 days ROI. So you're looking at about 5 to 6 months. And yeah, whether that's worth it to you guys, that's up to you. When I restarted my StepnGO journey, I could get the ROI to below 100. So to me, it was very much worth it. 156 might seem a bit steep, but at the same time, there are lots of benefits to StepnGO, excluding the fact that you get paid to do it. Like, if you treat it like a gym session, it's something that just motivates you to get outdoors and to go for your walks. So that's another positive to it. However, the other option is you can drop these 2 sneakers, start off at just under 800, and you can probably get this number down by a bit. But I'll catch you guys in the next one because this video is getting a bit long. Love you guys. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.